Hey guys, it's your boy Taco Phil. Again, haven't been really working on too many videos. I've been living life really, working, living, working hard on getting this FA stuff done, which has been a pain in the butt. So this video is in response to a conversation I had with a buddy of mine. So I had a friend of mine on I have a friend of mine on Facebook who also works for Greyhound, and first and foremost, I start all my videos with saying I'm not a representative of Greyhound. I don't get paid by Greyhound to do any videos. Any information that I give you in my videos are just my opinions that are reflective of my time as a driver. And your mileage may vary, your situation may be different, but this is all stuff that I've dealt with and things that I've come across. All right, so with all that out of the way, so I had a friend of mine who's on Facebook, and he's been posting a lot of videos, and photos of him deadheading. So if you're unfamiliar with deadheading, when you work for Greyhound, you work on call, you know? So you work what's called the extra board, which is pretty much all the extra work that isn't covered by regular drivers. So you'll be doing a lot of, picking up schedules, picking up extra parts of schedules, and you'll be doing tons of deadheading. So deadheading is basically when you're driving a bus, picking up a bus, or moving a bus with no passengers on it. Now, because you're not driving passengers, you're not fulfilling a schedule, you don't get full pay. If I remember correctly, it's either 70 or 75% of your full pay is what you get. So, you do it at a loss. But deadheads are few and far between, depending on your location. Now, in a place like Los Angeles, where we have a lot of buses, or where there's a lot of buses leaving Greyhound out of the city, they'll once in a while, or a good amount of times, they'll have situations in which they just don't have enough buses. So they have to send out their drivers to actually bring those buses back. It happens once in a while. And if you're a relatively new driver, if you're low on the board, you're most likely going to pick up a deadhead. Now the thing with deadheads is, again, you don't make as much as you would driving passengers. It's not a full schedule. Now, deadheads are cool because it's just you. You don't have any passengers there. Typically I'll bring a speaker and, I'll play music and, I'll stuff my face, I'll, wear, I'm a little more laxed on the uniform. I won't wear a tie or whatever, just have, the white dress shirt or whatever the hell. So it's a lot more relaxing. You don't have to go to scheduled stops, and you get paid by how long it should take the bus to get there pretty much straight there, plus I believe a 30-minute lunch break. So, the great thing about that is, for me, typically, when I did deadheads, I would just would just go straight there. I'd pick up a bunch of food beforehand to snack on and eat while I'm driving, and it's a pretty relaxed environment. And because of that, typically I'll get there an hour early, and, it's free money. But again, you don't get paid max pay. You only get paid a certain amount of money. You only get paid a percentage of your max pay. So you don't want to be wasting your time with a bunch of deadheads. Now, the cool thing about deadheads is, if you're in a place like Los Angeles, where in Los Angeles there's a lot of drivers. So sometimes you'll get stuck, where you'll come in and you'll be like number 20 on the extra board, and there'll only be like 5 runs that are available. So, you call in and you're like, hey, I don't have any run, nobody's called me. Sometimes it'll be like several days and you won't have any work. And you'll just be like, hey, what do you got for me? And they'll be like, hey, we got some deadheads that we're building. We're going to send you and 3 or 4 other people up to San Francisco to bring some buses back down. Now, the cool thing about deadheads is you can easily work the board using deadheads. And I love deadheads because of this. Is if you're stuck in an area, you have to, and they send you out on a deadhead. The important thing you got to remember is deadheads are the lowest priority for Greyhound. It may seem like it's important for your specific area, but as far as Greyhound as a company goes, deadheads are just the lowest thing. You know, they would rather move that bus with passengers on it than without passengers. So what I would do is, whenever I got sent out on a deadhead, let's say, I got sent out and I got a bunch of hours, I got, the 8 hours I got to rest, or 9 hours I got to rest. As soon as I get there, I'll immediately go to the driver manager, or I'll call dispatch and be like, hey, they sent me out here to do this deadhead, but I want to work, and it helps to know your area. Like a lot of times we'll do deadheads from Sacramento back down to Los Angeles. And so what I would do is I'd get to Sacramento and I'd call them up and I'd be like, hey, let me get that Vegas run. Or Vegas. Let me get that Reno run. A lot of people don't want to do the Reno run for some reason, And you got to know those runs. So you read the board, see that might be available, what is available. And if you can, just be like, hey, let me get this run. Let me get this run. They just got me on a deadhead. And sometimes, I've had a good number of times actually where they've sent me out to do a deadhead and they were just going to have me, because the thing with deadheads is when you're deadheaded, you are locked in a schedule. Your driver manager, whoever sent you out to do that deadhead, has you locked into it. So even when you get out to the area and you, let's say, have 9 hours of rest, mandatory rest, you're not on the board. So they can't pluck you, they can't put you on something else because you are already assigned to something. But again, because it's not priority, if you're in a different area, whoever dispatched it, you can just call the local area and just say, hey, I want to run. I want to make money. I've had so many times where I've gone to Sacramento and they sent me out to Reno to do a run because they just didn't have the people, and I was just going to pull a deadhead, and I'm not only taking a bus from them, they're losing a driver. So that's one thing. And I've had plenty of times in which they've called me or I had a deadhead and I've gone there, I told them I wanted to work, and then they've freaking just put me on hold. And when you're on hold, you get paid. You're there for it. You start adding up those second rest, those meal days, and I've had plenty of days where I've gone up there. They were like, "Oh, you're just gonna come bring a deadhead back down?" I called. I said, "I want to work," and they were like, "Okay, we might have a run for you tomorrow. We might be low on a person," and they'll keep you there, and they will pay you to be there. You start your second rest, and you work the board. I've easily had times in which I've gone out, thought I was just going to do a quick deadhead and be back in LA, told them I wanted to work, and been out for like a week or so, just because they just had me bouncing back and forth because Los Angeles may not have needed me, and Sacramento needed me, San Francisco needed me, those places they need drivers. And so because it's more important for the company, maybe not for your local area, to have drivers and to get out and work, they will always rather put you on a run that's making them way more money than just moving buses. So keep that in mind when you get out to those places. When you're ready to work, you want to work, you want to freaking make that money, and it seems like you're just driving a bunch of deadheads. They want to work. They want you to work. They want to move buses and passengers. That's their bread and butter. So don't be afraid to just, you go to a new place and just be like, hey, I know I'm here for one thing. I'm here for this deadhead, but if you guys need work, I'm willing to work. I'm willing to sit around. I got time to kill. Your time, because my time is your money, Hey, I would rather be driving a run than be freaking than just be driving an empty bus. And they'll want to do that. So, it just comes back to working the board and all that stuff. So, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to tell them that you want to work. Don't be afraid to get out there and work the board and let them, put money in your pocket. All right. So, keep posting questions. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can, when I get some time. Keep, telling me, whether you like the videos or not. Keep, hit me up. I appreciate all you guys viewing, and I'll try to keep more videos coming, and I'll talk to you guys later.